Hello and welcome back to Tetris Football. Yet again, it's just me because it's just a quick reaction to some breaking news. I think you'll know what it is. Thomas Tuchel has just been sacked by Chelsea as of about 1 or 2 hours ago as I'm filming this. And honestly, I think this is a really bad decision from Chelsea. I think the chairman, Todd Bowley, I think it is, he's trying to do too much by himself as the club. I don't think he appointed a director or something along those lines. I think he's trying to manage everything. I think he's trying to make everything perfect so the Chelsea fans like him, which I think is definitely going to backfire by firing Tuchel because he was a brilliant manager for Chelsea, and I just don't think they can bring in anyone better to replace him. Obviously, their main target is Graham Potter, and despite how well he's doing at Brighton, I still think that would be a bit of an upgrade on Tuchel. I think Tuchel is one of the elitist managers in the world at the moment, and he was always going to turn it around. I mean, Chelsea, they lost so many players, specifically defensively. They didn't sign the most players, obviously got a few in, but he's basically ended up with a whole new squad, and I think they needed to give him time to build on the players and the new players he got. And there were still promising signs from Chelsea, but they'd have some very poor games, and this sacking is probably a reaction to losing to Dynamo Zagreb in the Champions League 1-0, but they didn't get battered. It's obviously not the ideal result. They would have liked to win that game, but it is in Zagreb as well, and they're a difficult team to face if you just want to ask Tottenham fans about it. I mean, they Orsic, who scored the goal, he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham in the Europa League to knock them out a few years ago, but didn't see Tottenham immediately sacking Mourinho after that. Yeah, I just think it's a bit of a silly decision from Chelsea. I do believe that Tuchel is one of the best managers in the world. He followed a similar path to Klopp, going from Mainz, where he exceeded expectations, which was brilliant, and then he went to Dortmund. He did decent, tried to push Bayern Munich, still wasn't able to do that, but he ended up falling out with the board again and ended up getting sacked, or he moved on. He went to PSG. He did alright. He did get them to the final of that Champions League in 2020, which was good. However, he did also fall out with some of their big names, I think, apparently, according to dressing room links. And that's why he eventually moved on from there as well. So I think the only plausible reason that he's been sacked is if it was another falling out at boardroom level, or even with some of the players. But I don't think it would have been with the players. I think it would have been with the boardroom level. I just don't think that Todd Bowley expected to start the season not as well as they would have liked, but he's only 6 games in the league. He easily has time to turn it around. I mean, they're still in the Champions League. They didn't get knocked out. They could win the Premier League. I don't think anyone thinks that will happen, but they're still, anyone can win it at this point, really, mathematically, so they still could. Doubt it though with Man City. I do think City will probably win the league at this point, but Chelsea, they should get Champions League football if things still go well. And overall, they're still in both cup competitions as well. They do pretty well in cups. They could still win those. That'd still be a pretty successful season. But with sacking Tuchel, you can only see Chelsea taking a step back. I think, since they come in, they've been bringing in players like Aubameyang on massive contracts, and he's not exactly the best character to have in the dressing room. Quite a lazy player as well, and a big ego and attitude. And I just think the massive wages they're forking out, it's reminiscent of Man United years ago after they lost Fergie, and maybe Chelsea will go through a 10-15 year transition period like United as well, as they slowly decline and they'll have to build themselves back up again. At the moment, it does not look good for Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea fans saying you want Tuchel out, what are you doing? He's one of the best managers in the world. You should have backed him. He's stuck with your club during that crisis when Abramovich was sanctioned, and he wasn't even getting paid his full wage. He dealt with all that difficulty in the club. He still managed to get you in the Champions League, which is vital for your revenue and income as a club. And overall, it is just a disgrace to be sacking that man after all he's done for you. Winning the Champions League, the biggest trophy in world football, maybe other than the World Cup, that's international. In club football, winning the biggest trophy, I think it's unjust to sack him just a year on from that. You wouldn't sack Klopp now just because he's not started the season well. You're not going to see Liverpool sack Klopp. Say City had started quite bad, you wouldn't see them sacking Guardiola. And then Conte at Spurs as well. I've seen that Tuchel actually had more points per game than Conte at Spurs, and you don't see Tottenham sacking Conte anytime soon either, do you? So I'm really not quite convinced of what's going on at Chelsea. I think we could see a massive drop-off from them in the future, maybe even a drop-off out of the top 6 and just become a top 10 slash mid-table club. I'm not convinced they'll fall that far, but the way the club's being run at the moment, you could honestly see that happening. But overall, Tuchel being sacked after all he's done for that club is a complete disgrace, really. And tell me what you guys think about this decision from Chelsea down below, and who you think they should get in as their replacement manager. I personally think the best person for them to go for is Zidane. He's just the biggest name in football. I don't think Potter quite suits the way Chelsea play. He needs to go to a more free-flowing attacking club than Chelsea's defensive style. So yeah, I think Zidane might fit Chelsea the best. But overall, poor decision from Chelsea. Tell me what you think down below. Remember to like, comment and subscribe because every little helps. Thanks for watching.